Are you ever afraid that something will happen that will keep you from living the life you really want? This video shows how the famous samurai Miyamoto Musashi faced his fears head-on. You can use his timeless advice to rise above your fears and win. Reason 1. Give your fear a silly name to make it feel less powerful. Fear often looks scary and serious, like a huge monster blocking your way. What if you could make it smaller, though? Just call your fear something stupid. It works like magic. Feel free to call it Mr. Doubtful, Chicken Legs, or the Drama Queen. By giving fear a funny name, you take away its false power. Musashi taught that how we see things changes what is real. See that which you can't see with the eye, he wrote. During fight, he knew that his confidence depended on how he saw his opponent. If he thought his enemy was invincible, he would be scared. But he could win if he saw his opponent as just another person with flaws. You can change how people see you by calling fear by a silly name. Like, if you're scared of speaking in public, you could call your fear Shaky Mike. As soon as you name it, you move away from it. I am terrified is no longer what you say. Instead, Shaky Mike showed up again. Suddenly, the fear is just an outside force that you can control instead of being who you are. This trick works because making people laugh breaks the spell of fear. Musashi himself thought that psychological tricks could be useful. He was late to the fight with Sasaki Kojiro and made a sword out of an oar. He made his opponent nervous and less afraid of the fight by controlling how they saw things. You can do the same thing. Fear grows when you take things seriously, but it dies when you smile. Call your fear something silly. Have a laugh about it. As soon as you stop praising fear as something great, you will start to see it as something you can handle. Reason 2. Promise yourself a favorite treat simply for trying. We often give in to fear because we expect ourselves to be perfect. Our minds tell us, if I don't succeed completely, I've failed. Musashi would not agree though. Do nothing that is useless, he wrote. Fear of failing doesn't help you succeed, it keeps you from trying. You should instead reward work instead of results. One way to do this is to tell yourself you'll get a small prize just for trying. It could be a favorite food, a stroll through the park, or your favorite song. You can train your brain to see courage as a prize by linking a good thing to an action. To help yourself get over your fear of calling someone, tell yourself, after I call that number, I get a piece of chocolate. Say, I'll watch an episode of my favorite show after I finish my first workout. If you're scared to go to the gym, just trying is important in and of itself. Musashi knew how important it was to train without wanting to win right away. His fights were only a small part of his life. He spent hours training to become very good. Instead of getting outside rewards, he gave himself the joy of being disciplined. Focusing on the process instead of the result made him impossible to stop. Promise yourself a treat if you try, and the fight changes. You no longer judge success by how beautiful something is, you judge it by how brave someone is. You still get the prize even if you fall because you faced your fear. Facing your fears, acting on them, enjoying the result, and building your confidence all feed into each other. Fear stops being a punishment over time and starts being a chance to grow and even be happy. The next time fear tries to stop you, don't beg to win. Ask for work. Then take care of yourself like a brave warrior who made the choice to move forward. Since you did. Reason 3. Ask, will this matter in 1 year? To gain perspective. Fear loves to make things worse. This mistake will ruin everything, it says in a whisper. This mistake will always define you. But Musashi knew that having a different point of view gives you power. In strategy, it is important to see far away things as if they were close and to look at close things from afar, he wrote. To use this advice, you could ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Most fears become less scary when you look at how long life is. In a year, will it matter that you stumble over words in a meeting? Not at all. Will being turned down for one chance change your whole future? Not at all. Fear almost always makes the moment seem more important than it really is. It gives you space to ask this question. It makes you look at the bigger picture. Musashi often fought duels where he knew that he could die if he hesitated, but he learned to separate himself from the instant fear. He thought of every fight as a step on the way of strategy. In the same way, you need to see your fear as part of a bigger path. This question also makes you think of how strong you are. There's a good chance that in a year you'll have learned from something scary, become stronger, and even laughed about it. You will forget the fear, but the power you gain from facing it will last. For instance, you might be afraid to ask someone out. In a year, being turned down won't hurt as much, but maybe you'll still feel bad about not trying. You are more likely to act when you understand how small the risk really is. Fear wants you to think that the problem you're facing today is the end of the world. Musashi would tell you that time is long and the world is very big. Think about what you're afraid of. In a year, most of the things you're afraid of won't matter. It will matter if you had the guts to try. Reason 4. Focus on the fun of learning, not the pressure of winning. Musashi thought that success wasn't about holding on to results, but about being open to growth. He thought that every task should be seen as a chance to get better, not a test. For instance, if you're afraid of painting, don't be afraid of the blank board. Instead, play with colors and strokes. If you are afraid of public speaking, see it as an opportunity to try out different ways of expressing yourself, not as a show where you have to do well or die. Musashi didn't just fight, he practiced all his life and enjoyed the art of getting better. Focusing on learning frees you up, and mistakes turn into lessons instead of disasters. Failures are not punishments, they are lessons. Fear reduces because there isn't a single way to describe success. If you're afraid to start a business, for example, look at it with interest and ask yourself what you can learn from this step. Not having to win takes away the stress and you find joy. Learning is also fun. When you stop worrying about being judged and start looking forward to discovering new things, fear goes away. When fear is getting the best of you, change your focus to training and practice. Fear can't hold you back when you play with life. Musashi was a master because he loved the way things were done, not just the end result. Reason 5. Imagine cheering for a friend who is doing the same thing. We are often mean to ourselves when we are scared. We are hard on ourselves, telling ourselves things like, "You're going to fail. You're not good enough. It will make you look bad." But would you say those things to a friend who was in the same state? Of course not. You'd wish them luck, tell them they were strong, and cheer them on. Self-mastery was important to Musashi. You must not be affected by the enemy, he wrote. Most of the time, our biggest enemy is not someone else, but ourselves. If you want to face your fears, you need to give yourself the same support you would give a friend. Picture your best friend in front of the task you're afraid of. Think about how scared, hesitant, and doubtful they must have been. "What do you mean? You've got this," you would probably tell them. "You're better than you believe. I have faith in you." Now, look at those words inside out. This change in point of view is strong. It takes away the harsh voice of fear and replaces it with kindness. You stop being your own enemy and start being your own friend. Musashi won not only against other people, but also against his own fears and feelings. He was very good with both his mind and his sword. If you're scared of making a speech, picture a friend who is about to go on stage. Imagine backing them and cheering for them. Then remind yourself of that same thing. You deserve it just as much. Fear grows when you say bad things about yourself. Fear falls short when you cheer for yourself. Criticism is not as strong as compassion. There is more power in hope than in doubt. So change the voice the next time fear talks to you. Talk to yourself like you're a friend. Support yourself. Musashi would tell you that the fight starts inside, and that if you win there, you will win everywhere else. Reason 6. Just get through the first minute. The rest gets easier. Fear can be overwhelming and hinder progress, but it is crucial to focus on the first minute to overcome it. Musashi, a renowned strategist, believed that hesitating before taking action can be more effective than executing the task. He suggested that focusing on the first minute of a situation can help overcome fear and create momentum. For instance, if you are afraid of running, writing, or starting a conversation, focus on the first minute. This will help you move forward and overcome the fear. Musashi's approach in duels was to make a strong move immediately, as hesitating gave fear power. Similarly, if you are scared of making a tough call, focus on the first minute and move forward. This will help you overcome the fear and move forward. Fear can grow in the mind like a rock, but when you act on it, it becomes a hill. Focusing on the first minute of a situation can lead to confidence and make the rest of the journey easier. Musashi believed that timing was sometimes more important than strength in winning, and if you win the first one, you will win the rest. Reason 7. Remember that feeling scared means you're growing. People often think that being afraid means you are weak, but it's really a sign of growth. When you leave your safety zone, that's when you feel scared. Musashi knew this very well. He always had something new to learn and did, so his life was always challenging. He wrote, "You must first control yourself if you want to control other people." To get rid of fear, you had to accept it as a part of growing. When you do something you've done before, you feel safe but stuck. Fear grows when you try something new, but growth also grows. You grow your skills, your confidence, and your life every time you face your fears. Fear shows that you are making progress. Musashi never stayed out of trouble. He fought duels against stronger opponents, went without anything, and trained all the time. Every scary step he took made him stronger. He could not have become famous without fear. If you feel scared, tell yourself that this is a time for growth. The butterflies in your stomach don't mean you failed, they mean you are changing. Your body is telling you, you are changing through fear. Like, if you don't want to start a new job because it will push your skills, you should. If you're scared to share your art, it's because you'll be open to being hurt and growing. You're going toward new things, which is why you're afraid of change. Face your fears instead of running away from them. Say, "This fear helps me grow. This fear keeps me alive." Musashi's whole life showed this to be true. He became good at what he did because he never stopped walking toward fear. So smile the next time you're scared. You're not weak, you're getting bigger. You're not losing, you're getting better. Fear is what makes you strong. If you accept it, you will not only face your fears, you will also beat them.